Hi everybody, welcome back to Flamespyro art for beginners. We're carrying on looking at our skull today. Where we'd left off last, we were starting to create the shape of the skull. And so there's more work to be done with the shading. I'm currently using my medium sphere shader, and I've got my heat setting at 3, which is a little higher this time, so we can start creating this dome shape of our skull. What we're always looking to do when we're creating pyrography and trying to create depth is we're always searching for that balance in depths of shading. You know, the further away points want to be like layered up more, you know, so they look further away from the eye. The darker the eye, you can push them back. And then obviously the skull starts to turn, doesn't it? You know, it starts to come over the dome. So it's very much a case of just feeling it out, just gently adding bits of shading here and there until you capture the right balance. So we know at the front of the eye sockets, just add a little bit of shading there to show it is the front. And then if we see on our picture, see here, this is where it goes deeper in and coming out of the shape. So in here we need to show shading to show there is, like, you know, an indentation. The skull is shaped inwards there. And the more you work at the sides and, you know, trying to capture that curvature of the skull, the more it'll start revealing itself to you and the better it'll look. To do a really fantastic looking skull, I could spend, you know, a good week working on it full time. But we can already start seeing some of the shape of the skull. Now think about these side bits, they're not going straight up, they are curling in as well, you know, I said, to create that illusion of depth. We also have to think of the sideways curvature, not just the upwards. Just excuse me 1 minute, I'm going to shut the door. The dogs are going to go mad at somebody. When you've got something as narrow as this as well, when you're looking to create as if there's the illusion of the skull further back, it's only a narrow, darker band that you're looking to add. Like I said, it has to then be blended, so in behind this eye socket I'll have to move the board round so we can get at it. In behind here, as we know, there's no light getting behind this skull, but it then suddenly does come out into the light. So we go from dark right up to the eye socket, moving our strokes generally like outwards. Here's another part of the skull where you'd be adding shading, because that's like down the side. Thickening my band of shading out at the back. So I'm touching down with like 2/3 of the pen. Still layering up at the very distance, very far edge of the skull. And then, as I said, we don't have to burn it all to create a realistic look. We have to start thinking about how the light is cast onto a skull. That's basically what we're doing with shading. We're thinking about how the light would affect the shape and structure. So say here on this middle piece is going to be pretty much untouched. and start creeping that shape from the back. Start edging it forwards, but lighter. So we go from dark and blend out to a lighter front. I hope a lot of you are watching have joined the Facebook group, Pyrography for Beginners and Beyond by Flamespyro Art. We have a great group. There's about 700 or 800 people in there now who are all passionate about pyrography. And for anyone new to pyrography, you're welcome to join the group, and there's some great pyrographers in there that we'd be more than happy to give you tips and bits of advice as you start out on your own journeys with pyrography. I can show you things like this, you know, to help sort of guide you in what to do, but the best form really of practice is actually wood burning yourself. You have to excuse me, the dogs are coming up. One of the dogs has got a poorly leg at the minute, Maisie. She's been at the vets and been given medications and stuff because she'd sprained her leg quite badly. So because we've got 4 chihuahuas, trying to keep the other 3 from getting too giddy with her. As Maisie started feeling better, she's getting giddier and wants to play again, but she's got to take it easy to start with, you know, not rush straight back into running about and jumping off settees and everything and then going backwards. So, my wife's trying to keep Maisie calm at the minute and keep the others off her, but she's improving every day. She's slowly getting back to herself. We were all very worried about her at first, and I was still worried about her, but she seems much happier than what she did. How it looks, I'll show you a quick thing with this picture. As we see on this picture, I know it's been water damage, but there is one significant difference. This side is lighter than this side, so the light is coming in from this direction, and this side is, you know, not in the light, it's more shaded. So that is another thing to look out for. Where is your light coming from? If the light's coming in from this side, then this side would be lighter, and the off side, where it's not getting the light, is darker, as in this picture. I'll just have to move my board again because I want to carry on capturing the curvature of the skull on this side. As you can see, if you leave your pen in one area too long, you can get like a darker stroke, and I want to try and avoid that. I want to try and keep the blending as smooth as possible. So this is why we call it layering up, because it would just build layer upon layer, work over and over on the areas. And that's how we build the shapes and the depth. And sometimes it may not even look like you're actually doing anything, but as you keep touching over that area, it is shading, it is slowly turning colour. So once we've got the top of the skull that we're happy with, we can then start looking at the face. We'll have to move the board around again to get at this area, and I'm using like more of the side of the space shader at the minute, using more of the angled edge just to pull my strokes in. And then as we move round, I'm going to have to turn the board that way. So working upside down as well is a skill to learn. It can throw you off when everything's upside down, so you don't know what you're actually doing because it's all in reverse. But to be able to get at these angles in the right direction, you need to turn the board. So what I have done is every single part of the work I've done up to now I've shown on the YouTube channel, so nothing's been missed. did want to burn this whole first skull with you. Look, it's quite easy to time lapse the whole thing, but then you don't really truly see what's going on. Again here behind the eye socket, I'm using more the tip of the pen now so I can get really tight control. Just pushing them strokes in the direction it would go outwards. Hopefully you can see that it's getting there as a shape. My side strokes here, even though I'm doing them quickly, I'm flicking quickly because I'm on heat setting 3 and I want to keep this pen moving, because if I keep the pen still for a couple of seconds it will build up more heat in it, and then when I touch down I will get a darker burn stroke than what I want. So by constantly keeping my pen just flicking off the board, I'm not allowing the pen to hold on to that heat and then give me a dark burn that I don't want. I don't think we want to take that top much more. At the moment, we'll leave that top bit for now. We'll add a little bit more depth here. And these eye sockets. In a minute I'll switch over to the extra small space shader, probably to get in here. Let's switch over. Put that pen on its stand. We'll switch over to the extra small space shader. Now we're going to need to turn the heat down for the extra small, because with it being a smaller surface area, it'll kick out more heat and a darker burn stroke. So what I'm going to do to test is in one of the areas where I know I need to go dark, I'll use this as a testing to see how hot I'm burning, then I can adjust. The setting if I need to from there. Because I'm currently set at number 2 on the Optima, which may sound low, but for this pen that is quite high. this is a great little pen just for tightening things up, getting more precise. Now if you think about this bridge of the nose, it's going to stick out slightly, isn't it? So it's going to come from the darkness out to the light to give it that illusion that it's sat forward a little, you know, it's not a flat object. If we add shading down the sides, like in the picture has these tiers either side, and that's what will give the illusion then that there is depth to the skull. Not how long we've been going for, I've given a couple of minutes. Just start working in this nose socket. Stuff like this that will just set your work apart a little if you just take that bit of time to put in these little fine details. When we come towards the end of the piece, it will show. As we remember, it's got like the upside down love heart shape, which is the thickness of the skull. So we can add some shading underneath there. Right up underneath, it's going to be where it's dark. So already on this bit of the underneath of the bridge of the nose, we're starting to think about the teeth and how this skull is going to come forward. Just add a light shadow all around this bone, just on the outside of it. And we will work that some more in the next lesson. We'll start moving down this face. really dark just under there, under this area. Then pull out gently. See, so we are coming from the darkness out into the light. So by the time, say, if you touch down on a dark area and you pull down, by the time you're pulling down near the front, most of the heat has gone out of the pen. So that way you can blend your shading then. Touch down in the darkest area first. We can rub out these other graphite lines as well now. The rubber. Which we've got here. Get rid of that lining. Keep that one for now. All the skull is worked on. Get rid of the graphite. There's still a bit left here. What I sometimes do when I finish a piece to remove the last of the graphite is get like a antiseptic wipe, you know, a baby wipe sort of thing, wipe it over. Just remove the last of the graphite and all the oils off your hand and everything. These eye sockets are not at the full depth of shading yet. I'll just briefly touch on it before we go. If you think about the back of a skull, it would be shaped round, wouldn't it? So I suppose you can show some sort of shape to it by darker at the sides and just lighter towards the middle back. It shows the shadow that it's dark in there. I mean, you can push that as far back as you want, you know. Some people will go full on dark. Dark with, sorry, the cut again there. Some people are going full on dark with the inside of the eyes and make them fully black. But I like to just leave a little bit of light in there just to try and show the back and just touches of light catching inside the skull. That's something we'll touch on as we get further into the face. And that's one last tip I'll give you is take photos as you go with your work. You know, if you get to a point, stop, take a photograph, look at it, and it will give you a totally different perspective on the piece of art you're working on, and you can see where you need to make your improvements and adjustments and stuff. So that was a great tip that was given to me. So that is one I would utilise and I will use as I do the videos. I then look to see where we're up to, where needs touching up more to capture the shape more, because I know this definitely, the dome isn't quite right yet. But that's for the next lesson. So I thank you for watching today. I hope everybody stays safe and has a great day. I really appreciate everyone who shares their time with me, and I hope I do pass on just a few little tips and tricks to help you with your pyrography. So I shall say goodbye, take care, happy pyroing to everybody, and I will see you in the next lesson. Okay, bye for now guys, take care, bye.